Welcome into the video. I'm your tech guy Wayne, and today I want to share my first impressions of the new Samsung Galaxy Fit 3. Now, I have been a fan of the Fit series from Samsung for a while. I did have the Fit 2 and I wore that one for a while, and I believe I did have the Fit 1 as well. So super excited to see this new iteration of that series. And the first thing I thought of when I saw it was, wow, this looks like an Apple Watch, which is not a bad thing. I love it's it's very close to the style of an Apple Watch. Obviously, a bit longer. It doesn't have the squared front, but I love that it kind of looks like it from afar. You wouldn't be able to tell. Really beautiful front display. I've been using it for about 2 weeks so far, and I have some pros and cons I want to share just from my initial interaction with it. Overall, I've been really happy with it. The front screen is nice and beautiful. The app notifications are very simple. Kind of a mixed bag with the app notifications because they don't show you a ton. You'll definitely get your text messages. You'll see emails. And you'll see when calls come through, and you'll also see when you have alerts from like a Google, like a news story. There isn't a screen on the app that lets you kind of control what notifications you get. I think that's one of the frustrations of it is like there's apps I wish I could get notifications for that I don't see on there. It's really limited from what I've seen just to really, again, text message, email. When calls come through, you are able to answer or decline the call. You're also able to send a message to that person saying, hey, can't talk right now. And there are some pre-populated responses in there that you can change to the app. So I love that you can control it. You can't answer and talk right from the watch, but you can at least control what's going on with your phone. I am using a Samsung Z Flip 5. So obviously, if you use it with a Samsung, you'll be able to like tap into the full resources because it's the same ecosystem. But I don't know if you're using a non-Samsung phone, if you'll be able to sync all those same features. So that's just something to keep in mind. One of the things I really love about it is the watch face selection. So I just want to show you when you hold down on the home screen, you can scroll through to some of the different watches, and I've added a couple from the app. The process to add different watches is super easy, and I love that. The main watch face I've been using is this one actually, because I love to be able to see the date, love to be able to see my live heart rate, which has been super helpful, and obviously your steps. It'll show your steps, heart rate, calories burnt in the corner there. I also currently have enabled the always on display, which is another really fun feature. Now, what's funny is because it's not on my wrist, it normally won't show the always on display, but if I put my finger underneath the sensor, you'll see when the face goes off, you'll see what the always on display looks like. So let's just give it a second to go dim, and then I can show you what that looks like. Okay, so you can faintly see it has the date in the corner, and it looks, again, it's really faint, so I apologize, the camera is only picking it up so well. Let me try to get a little bit closer here, but you can see the date in the bottom left corner, and you can see the watch hand right there. And it's really cool with some of the other watch faces. In fact, let me switch to a different one so you guys can just see the difference. Every watch face has its own always on clock. Now obviously you can turn this on or leave it off in the settings of the app. I always love to have an always on clock, and obviously the disclaimer is that when you use that, you do sacrifice some battery life. It is what it is. I don't care. I love just being able to see that even when I'm not using the screen. This one's pretty cool. It's really let me try to get closer here. It's not really showing it on the camera, but at the top it has the hour, and then at the bottom it has the minutes. And so this is a really nice one too. Super subtle, super clean. I want to show you in the app, in the Samsung wearable app. This is where you'll control the watch and make, you know, larger changes. One of the things I really love a lot is there's so many watch faces. As I scroll through here, there's so many different preloaded styles, which I love. So you have just so many different selections to really customize the watch to what, you know, fits your style. So I think that's one of the biggest things I've been super excited about. I tend to use a Fitbit Charge 5, and while they're getting better with the clock faces, it's still not nearly as elaborate set of choices as I'm seeing on this Fit 3. So this is a huge pro of this device. Is just Samsung made it simple. They just gave you so many options in terms of the customization. Now, let me talk about the battery life. So, I have been charging it probably every 3 days, and this is just rough numbers. What I'm planning to do next week is actually, you know, I'm going to charge it up to 100%, and I'm going to track how many days I get full on that charge. But I want to say I've been charging it about every 3 days. So, you know, I'm very happy with that. With my Fitbit Charge 5, I think I was charging it probably every other day. And then as of late, I've been using the Pixel Watch 2, which I literally have to charge it every day. If I don't charge it a day, I'll get maybe 4 or 5 hours into the next day and then it dies. So it's nice to not have to worry about charging it every single day. Definitely love that. On the home screen here, as you swipe through, there's lots of, you know, cool tiles that you can use. There's obviously the Samsung challenges. You can do challenges with other folks as well, which is pretty cool. So you get some of the benefits of having, like, the if you have one of the more expensive Samsung watches, you get some of those features. You don't get everything, but you get some. As you swipe up, this is the app list. This is kind of everything that you have access to. There is no there are no additional apps that you can add to it as of right now. I don't know if that's something that'll change later, but this is pretty much all you get. I do love that there is on this screen here, you have a water lock mode. So that's if you're in the shower, you can lock the screen so it doesn't go crazy when the water hits the screen. You have airplane mode. You have that movie theater mode that dims down the screen so it's not a distraction. You have that flashlight mode as well, which is you using the screen as a light. You're also able to use your watch as a shutter or a shutter for your camera. So you can set up your camera, and as long as you're within Bluetooth range, you can basically, you know, use your watch to take a picture. So obviously that's not a new thing. That's what most of these type of watches have now. You got to think of this as sort of a crossover. It really is meant to be more of a fitness tracker. It's more of an upgraded fitness tracker, so it doesn't quite have all the bells and whistles of one of Samsung's expensive watches, but I like the fact that they're giving you so much more. You're like kind of tipping your toe into some of those advanced features you would get on the more expensive watches for a really great price. And this is what I want to end the video on. So, oh, actually that and one more point. So, the price, my goodness, this thing is like under 70 bucks. This thing is so inexpensive. I'll leave a link below in the description in case you want to check out maybe getting one for yourself. I do think this is an amazing Father's Day gift for those of you that are looking for ideas. Super inexpensive. If you go on Amazon, there's tons of different bands available to purchase, which I love too. So great selection of accessories. I'll have a link below to a really cool charging cradle as well in the description in case you want to check that out. But overall, I've been pretty happy with it. I did want to share that I did have 2 instances where it did freeze, and like, you know, it's like 6 o'clock in the evening, and the time still said 1:30. That did happen to me twice over the last 2 weeks, which that was a bit frustrating. Hoping with a few software updates that won't be an issue, but for those of you that might end up picking up one, if you ever run into that, it's a really easy fix on how to get around that, which is simply holding down on this power button here for about 10 seconds or until the screen goes dark. And then once you do that, it'll restart and then you're good to go. So once I, did that soft reset, everything was fine. And aside from that, I've had a great experience. I've done a few workouts with it, which is great. The live heart rate tracking is, great as well. So overall, my experience has been good and wanted to share about it since it's been 2 weeks and I felt like I had enough time with it to really give you some details. So you can say this is a first impressions and probably a mini review because I did cover quite a few things. So all that to say, if you found this helpful, make sure you hit that like button down below. Leave me a comment if you would consider buying one after kind of hearing the feedback that I've shared. I'm also curious to hear if you even knew this thing existed and if you knew it was out there. I randomly saw it as I was scrolling through a YouTuber's page that Samsung had quietly launched this device, and so I picked one up. So anyway, I'll have all the links in the description, and curious to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. For those of you that made it all the way to the end, hey, you are the real MVP, and make sure you drop in the comments, I am the real MVP, and that'll be our little subtle hint to all those folks who made it to the end of the video. Thanks again for watching, guys. Take care, and as always, have a good one.